So we are going to join our players here at the Homebrew Coffee Shop on Selduth Street in the Castle Ward of the great city of Waterdeep, the City of Splendors along the Forgotten Realms, along the Sword Coast. I know that because I actually cracked open the map that came in the back of my copy of Waterdeep Dragon Heist. So, like, there's actual down to street names, so we know where we're located. And I guess to give you all, the players and the internet, a general overview of what Homebrew Coffee Shop is it is about if I had to guess, I'd say about 200 to 300 by 300 square building on the first floor, on the floor level. Inside, you've got what you would expect in a typical cafe coffee shop. You've got different coffee machines. Things may have been imported so that people that know things about espresso and lattes and that kind of stuff, those devices exist so that we don't have to suspend the disbelief a little bit further. Warforged, Dwarven, Gnome technology, that exists in this coffee shop. So the coffee shop's been around for probably about 6 months to a year, so it's growing in popularity. And it's figured out that seasonal drinks are an important part of that, right? It is Uktar in the Forgotten Realms calendar, which is basically November. It's November 10th in Forgotten Realms calendar times at the moment. So we are coming out of pumpkin spice season, and we are heading into peppermint, cinnamon, gingerbread season as far as time frame goes. Recently, within the past month or so, the shop also got a liquor license. So they do have a bar in there as well, so they can start selling alcohol. And then they have the wonderful crossover of alcoholic coffee-based drinks. They do have, like a cafe would have, they do sell pastries and sandwiches. They do have a small cook staff that can do things like eggs or egg sandwiches or, any kind of lunch type sandwich. They're open 24 hours, and they have a complement of staff of all varying degrees of experience who can cover all of your needs. And then you basically have scattered throughout the place, you have some the tables, they don't really make a lot of sense, right? Like, you have the prime tables in the middle, which are your nice round tables with the comfier chairs. You've got a couple more like recliner type chairs over by a fireplace. You've got some high top tables, and it's just sort of a mixture. Like, we want to put together a coffee shop, let's scrounge up whatever kind of furniture we can have, and we'll smatter it all about. So at 10 a.m. at the start of all of our players' shifts here, you guys, your manager at this time is Ned. Ned, the manager, he is pretty stoic. He doesn't say a whole lot, and he just kind of stays in the back office and lets you guys just do the work, and only comes out if things get really crazy.
Perfect.
There is a lower floor, which is the storage where you keep the extra beans and that kind of stuff. If you guys got to go down and get more supplies, that's where kind of, because it's below ground too, that's where like the cream and all of that is kept. So if you guys need to go get anything to refill, it's downstairs. And currently, in the bar with you, or in the shop with you, you have a few other folks. You see, you have Abraham working with you today. Abraham, as you guys know, he is always grumpy, and he doesn't think that he should be working here, but he's clearly not doing anything to change that. And the one you have customers coming in and out, some people just getting coffee and leaving, but the one mainstay you have is Miriam, who came in basically right at the start of your shift to get a coffee and a Danish like she does every day, and then she went and sat down at a table and she's just knitting. And then you guys know that this is her MO. She just sits there and she'll knit all day and slowly sip on that coffee and nibble on that Danish. And that is what's going on. So I will... Oh, and you guys have your security because you did recently just open a bar. It is 10 a.m., but at the Homebrew Coffee Shop, they don't put a time frame on when you can buy alcohol. So 10 a.m., whenever it is, alcohol serving. So you have Bosco, who is your security guy, who's very odd. Something's off about Bosco. You guys have seen this whenever people start to get like up in arms about stuff or there looks like there's going to be trouble. His MO is he stands up on his tiptoes, puts his arms above his head and just yells really loudly. And it's unsettling enough that it stops people from usually going wherever they're going with any kind of violence. So that is that. So we will join our players, and I'm going to have to go through and get everybody's character names and stuff so I can fill this all out on here as we go. So, Kugo, why don't you tell us a little bit about who you are, and we'll go from there.
So, this morning, I am playing Galdar, and Galdar is a Minotaur. And he should probably be security instead of handling coffee, but he's handling coffee anyway. He's your pretty standard looking Minotaur, which I don't think is too strange for Waterdeep, but he is a bipedal creature that's in the 6 foot range. So take that with a bit of sugar and cream, if you will.
All right. And what class are you, so people know if they're trying to follow along?
I am playing a wizard, but I am a very burly wizard. I am a man's wizard. I'm not your dress wearing, book reading Minotaur. I guess you're done.
There you go. Awesome. And I guess I should also throw this out there. As we end the stream, guys, the streams are roughly 2 hours or 45 minutes by the time we break up and break down. So we'll also have, at the end, everybody to go through the spiel, who you are, where people can find you on the internet, and get all your promotional stuff out of the way there. All right, Speedy, what about you?
I am playing as Dr. Thaddeus Langston. I am a human sorcerer. He's a bit of a crackpot. He's a little bit eccentric. I imagine he was hired for this place just because he's a really good salesman. Like, he's the kind of guy who is usually selling all sorts of potions and elixirs on the street. So here he's doing the same with coffee and trying to sell all these like seasonal flavors and artisanal beans and what have you.
All right. I guess we'll see what happens as we go through that. What about you, Lex?
I am playing Enrico Montalban, the half-elf fighter. An all-around suave guy. He runs the espresso machine, and he flirts with all the female customers, and he's really just a walking HR liability. Really get that guy out of it.
All right.
Real bad.
All right. And would you say human fighter?
Half-elf fighter.
Half-elf fighter. Got it.
Gotta get that charisma.
Yeah, that's true. I'm gonna have to come back and spell the rest of his name there.
Oh, it's in chat.
Okay, I will grab that from you in a second. And Gozira, what about you?
My name is Gladriel Willowfoot. I'm an old human wizard, female, and I don't really like anybody at all.
What an interesting cast people have put into this coffee shop. Clearly, the best people for the job.
Yes.
As we said, it opened recently, so perhaps once the shop has grown more, they'll be able to go back and adjust who's working in what positions. But for right now, this is what's going on. So when you guys arrive for the day, the previous shift has left, and you meet in the back room, and Ned tells you he's basically got two things for you guys to do today. Or one thing. He says that we just opened this bar, and we don't have a bartender for this shift. I've got some people coming in between dealing with customers. If one or some of you can interview the bartenders and pick the best one, I just don't want to do it. You guys do it. And then he stares wistfully out his back window, even though nobody is saying anything else to him. and he's holding a candy cane in his hands, and he's kind of twiddling the candy cane, and he just says, "Minter is coming," and he just twiddles the candy cane, and then that's it. And then he, like, you guys continue to, if you try to talk to him, he just continues to look out the window and say Minter is coming and play with the candy cane.
Yes, Minter is coming. It is always coming, isn't it?
And he just nods solemnly. And there you go.
I thought it was already here. I could feel it in my bones.
And then he's just, again, just totally zoned out. Just out the window. A little stroke of the beard. Play with the candy cane. And then he just assumed, like, that's it. He's basically shut off.
We're interviewing, are they coming here?
And he shakes from his reverie for a moment, and he says, "Yeah, they may even already be here. I don't know." He goes back to his candy cane, and he realized that he's actually just trying to unwrap the candy cane, but not looking at it, and he's just looking out the window, and he can't get it.
He's not crying, is he?
Make a perception check.
First roll of the game.
I really want him to be crying. Is that bad?
Jesus.
It's a 2.
You're not sure. You really want him to be crying, but you're not sure if he is.
I've already made up in my mind. He's crying.
Gladriel just walks out of the room.
As Enrico walks out, he says, "If Enrico has told manager Ned once, he has told him 100 times. Enrico would be perfect at manning bar. Only several slip-ups with the drink mixer machine."
And he's just like, "Winter is coming."
Right. I'm gonna turn to, like, the rest of the coffee shop and just say, who is here for an interview?
All right, and you see a couple of people, like, there's definitely one guy who's in, like, a suit, right? And he's got papers, like, scrolls in his hand. He, like, straightens his tie, and he walks over towards the bar. And then there's probably a girl, you guess maybe 18, who just, like, looks like she doesn't want to be there, but she kind of saunters up to the bar. You see, like, at the beginning, like, Bosco starts to walk over, and then he, like, thinks better of it, and then he goes back and stands by the door. And he walks real funny. Like, even though he kind of waddles when he walks up, and he's just walking towards you, something's off about the way this guy walks. And you can see in the back corner, as you guys are getting ready to interview, you see that Miriam walks up to, still knitting with her knitting needles the whole time. And there's a woman in kind of one of the back corner tables with a kid who's probably about 6 or 7 years old. And this kid is just a complete brat. And she just doesn't want to deal with it. And you see her, like, take a sip of her coffee and then make this just, like, disgusted face. And then, like, she, like, slings a big bag over her shoulder and, like, grabs the little kid around the waist and, like, starts storming up to the counter as you guys are getting ready to do your interviews. So, I'll put it out there to you guys. What is your plan? How are you gonna handle these? Are you all gonna do, like, a panel-based interview? Them on one side of the counter, you on the other? Are you gonna break off and deal with other things? What's the plan?
How do you think we should do it? Gladriel, you've interviewed people before, right? You're old.
Well, you got the old
Thaddeus is
part,
also-
right, man? I haven't really interviewed many people, but I'm willing to try.
I say we put them in a battle royale. The winner is the only one suited to be a true bartender. That's what I always heard.
Are you
I just make the
okay?
best bartenders. Not you.
You sound pretty intent on watching people slaughter each other just for a job interview.
No. It has nothing to do with that.
But I do
More-
like the idea.
And you guys know that Ned, he as typical, he checks out completely. So whatever you guys want to do, he's down. So like, if you guys think that battle royale is the way to get these people to get their job interview, he'll back you up 100%. He's just too busy fiddling with his candy cane.
Enrico is just like, perhaps a battle royale would be perfect. As we know, having the fire inside is the most important part of any job. And what better way to bring out that fire than Mortal Kombat?
Anyway,
It's true. The fire potion I drank gave me the power to interview properly for this job before. I imagine each of these contestants or interviewees, applicants, have probably consumed a fire potion already and are more than ready to fight.
Well, if Ned really doesn't seem to give a crap about everything, I might go in the back and play with my candy cane a little bit. Just for a little bit. Actually, Galdar's gonna go make himself a coffee.
okay, you can make. Yeah, I mean, you've got so. Like, Abraham is there, like, he's just sitting in the corner with, like, a newspaper, and, like, up against the bar, like, people are, like, so you see that woman comes up with her kid and the coffee cup, and she, like, slams it down on the bar, and he just doesn't look up. He's just, like, he's still reading the paper, he don't care.
Okay. I walk over.
And he like, looks up at you, nods, and kind of is like, ugh. And just goes back to his paper.
Okay. I walk over to so there's a woman just slammed the coffee down?
Yeah.
And is she still standing there?
Yeah, she's tapping her foot and like...
All right. I approach her.
And she's like, finally. So...
Good morning.
And she's like, it could have been a good morning. But no. I was here and... the people from I watched them just walk out. They didn't even look to see if my drink was made correctly. And I will tell you, sir, it was not.
Oh, you don't like your coffee?
No, I want to speak to your manager.
All right. I go to pick up the coffee that she put down.
Okay, you do.
Okay. And I walk away.
And she's like, so where do you go when you walk away?
To the bar.
Okay, so you walk over past everybody else, past to where the bar is, where everybody's kind of set up, and you just sit down there at the bar.
No, the other side of the bar.
Okay, all right. So she tracks you as you
Okay.
go along, and
All right.
Do you drink her coffee or?
Not yet. I still have to add an ingredient.
Oh, okay, all right. So you go over and you're behind the bar. You see the rest of the party debating whether or not they should have these people go into a battle royale for their bartender job.
I'm
Well,
doing
if they're
customer
gonna
service.
fight, I don't know where are they gonna fight at. That's things we have to understand. But we don't want to blow up this place because we work here.
It's true. There's the Heroes Arena, but I don't think that we could really rent that.
Should we provide them weapons or go bare knuckle with it?
You know, I'm really starting to rethink the whole fighting to the death thing.
You watch.
I did bare knuckle to get my job.
Hi, Wes. All right. So, and you hear them discussing this, Galdar, as you make your way over to the bar.
That's fine. I'm doing customer service right now, so I'm kind of focused.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
You just want to say goodbye before we left.
Bye, buddy.
Bye.
Oh.
Goodbye.
Oh.
Goodbye.
And what's everybody doing? Yeah, you see them all over there?
Okay, we gotta go.
All right.
The camera made his eyes just
We're going to the
black
children's museum
spots.
to
And it was,
see character.
What's up?
We're going to the
I don't know if anyone else saw that.
children's museum, if
Okay.
you're wondering.
All
The
right.
extra boss.
Yeah. So, all right. Yeah. So you go over to the bar, and are you gonna put alcohol? You have a choice of alcohol you're gonna put into this.
Yeah, what's available to me? What is Mr. Ned arranged to be set up at this bar at this time?
So Ned is a fan of a stiff drink himself. So you can see here, you basically got, you don't have a ton of different options for your types of alcohol, but you
Okay.
basically have your standard sets of alcohol, right? You've got like a gin, you've got a rum, you've got a vodka,
All
you've
right.
got like a whiskey, you've got like a couple of nicer scotches that are like on the little tinier shelf up. And then
Okay.
you've got, standard mixer stuff that you'd have, like sugar, water, ice, lemon juice, lime juice, orange juice, cranberry juice, the Favoronian equivalent of grenadine.
You were gonna add cranberry juice to it, right? That was what you're gonna do with the coffee.
I'm going straight for the nicer scotch, whatever's the stiffest.
All right, you've got it.
I pop it open, and whatever sip that she had taken out of her coffee, I'm replenishing with said scotch.
Okay, you do.
Okay. I take a small sip
It
of the coffee afterward.
You don't know how it tasted before, but it definitely tastes way better now.
All right. And I take another small little sip, and then I turn and I go back to where the lady is, and I present it back to her.
And she just like has this look of disgust on her face, having watched you walk over, pour alcohol in it, then take 2 drinks of it, and then go give it back to her. So she's just like, excuse me?
Yeah, that's better now.
And she's like, I just can't even right now with you in this place. And you watch it,
coffee?
and she's just like, and she's like, I requested to see your manager. Where? And you, as she's yelling and you watch that she begins to shake, like vehemently as she's like you're doing everything that just grates. Thank you, dogs, against every fiber of her being.
Oh, yeah.
And she just, and you watch as her whole body is vibrating. She drops the kid. Like the kid hits she just like lets the kid go. The kid hits the floor.
Yeah.
And she puts her hands down on the bar, and you watch as her fingers just kind of like into the bar, and her muscles begin to ripple and grow,
nice.
and she begins to grow in height.
Oh,
And
nice.
she is about, and I guess I should say the ceilings in this place are about 15 feet tall, because you have a manner of different workers and people who come in and out. So she elevates to about 8 feet tall. There is no semblance of the woman who was there before. She is now some sort of a rippling,
Huge
muscular
What?
creature, and I would like you all to make me Arcana checks, please. And we'll see if we
Oh,
can
yeah, dude.
determine what this lady is.
This is my shit. Let's go.
24.
All right, that's pretty good.
14.
21.
All right, let's see.
I'm sipping this as she grows. I'm still sipping on the alcoholic coffee.
All right, nice. Let's see.
Big 12 for me.
All right, so pretty much without any craziness, you guys can tell that she has transformed into some kind of golem creature. Did you know that this was possible? You're not sure. But her body is like, it's almost in and out of reality, as though it's vibrating at such a speed that those of you with above a 15 Arcana check could guess that this is probably a haste spell. That she maybe needs this coffee to keep operating at this level, but she's losing it now, so it's all being exerted at once. And I would like for all of you to please roll me initiative as we go into combat with this just displeased Woman.
I just want to say, as this is happening, Thaddeus would turn to the applicants and say, all right then, first test found. Customer service. Take care of that woman. And I will let the NPCs do everything
Great.
for a great story.
Okay, a couple of things we've gotten some donations here. Kugo, I see you donated. You're gonna get a trinket. I will get you that in a second. I got a couple other donations. Guys, we're at $472 already. At $500, it unlocks coffee grinder mode, and death saving throws have to be a 15 or higher to succeed.
Oh, God.
What are we at?
472.
Real
So-
close.
All right, so let me just go through and get those initiatives. So Lex, you had a what?
An 11.
11. Kugo,
17.
17. Speedy,
7.
7, and Go Zero.
10.
10. All right. So, making sense, you see, and she is, it's a strange, like, it started out as a muscling kind of form, but you watch as it's kind of grown and develop, and flesh has actually begun to slough off of this body, and it is some strange, mostly bone-like creature with large curved bones and hooved feet, and there's you feel as it appears in your presence, this cold wind surrounds her, and you just kind of feel like the temperature in the place drop about 10 degrees. And you're up first, Galdar, and I'll give you a quick little breakdown of, like, right here. Can you guys get a good look at? You probably can't because of the ring light.
A little high contrast situation.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
On the so.
Oh, that's a little bit terrifying.
Yeah, it is a little bit terrifying. Yeah.
Okay. Well, the first thing I say is, not my favorite kind of woman. And I say, security, and I sip the drink again, and that's my turn.
All right. I will also need you to make a wisdom saving throw, please.
Okay.
Security.
23.
Okay. You are not frightened by this. You are. Perhaps it's the liquid courage. You don't know, but you just stare down this just monstrosity in your face, and you just.
Security.
That's
And-
just what working in the service industry does.
That's what it does to you. Absolutely. Okay. So after your turn, let's roll for Bosco here. Bosco, he was not really paying too much attention. So he's in there, but he's not coming up. Yes. I guess I should remind you, yes, you guys did all have this, but you all have that Timora's blessing, so it's a +1 to every roll that you make for the length of this shift. So just keep that in mind on your end. Oh, and Kugo, go ahead and roll me a percentile die, if you would.
Yeah, you got it, dude. Coming right up. Here we go. It's 79.
79, only 10 off from the best number. All right, let's see what you got here. I'll tell you what your trinket is, because as you sit down on the stool behind the bar, sipping this slightly alcoholic drink, you notice something underneath the bar. You notice, oh boy, so, all right. So you see underneath these they're weird, guys. If you know me, you know these trinkets are a little.
1 million gold.
No, not that much. You find there is what looks like some kind of skeletal creature underneath the bar. It's old. It looks like it's held together by bits of string and glue, and it like shambles out from under the bar, and it like stands up, and it's about human height, and it stands up next to you, and somehow you know, because you took the time and care to find him, that he is now your manservant. You have this old skeletal manservant held together by bits of string and glue, and he is yours to command.
Okay.
Also, it's snowing out here in New York, guys. Just throwing that out there.
Wow.
So that's fun. But yeah, that's you have him there. This is his name is Larry. You just know it innately.
I turn to Larry after I say security, and I hand out the coffee. I say, "Hey, is this off?" And that's it.
And we'll have Larry act. He'll take it and he'll like drink it, and you watch it go down his throat hole and like across his ribs to the floor. He can't speak, but he's just like he makes that kind of a gesture, like he's like maybe he's not sure.
Yeah.
And he hands the coffee.
It's not
back
bad,
to you.
right? Yeah.
Okay, then it will go. Oh, Bosco got that. So that was Galdar's turn. So then it's the woman's turn. Or what was once a woman, if you can even call her a woman. Her name, we're gonna, you know what? I'm just gonna call her Sharon. That's gonna be her name, so that we know what to. So Sharon's turn here. So Sharon,
Of course.
yeah, I know, right?
For manager.
So let's see. So Sharon will reach across the bar and she will try and claw at you with her claws. And you will have half cover because you have a bar between you and her. So whatever your AC is, it's 2 higher. And she got a 16 to hit.
Yeah, it hits me.
Alright, so let's roll some damage for Sharon.
Wizard AC.
So Sharon's got...
It sounds like a lot of dice.
It was 4. So that is 5, 6, 7, 11 points of damage. And you feel as she slashes into you with these claws is a mixture of slashing damage and cold damage. And then she will try to bite you as well. And she will get a natural 1, so she will miss with a bite. But you can see in her mouth there is like this kind of swirling, glowing light blue thing, as though there is some sort of cold element powering this creature. And that is Sharon's turn. Next up is Enrico.
Do you want me to roll that fear effect, or am I out of range?
It is... No, I'm going to say because he went away, you have to be within 20 feet. So I'm going to say just the nature of where you guys are at the bar and where he is, you guys don't have to.
Enrico sees this. At first, he's just like, oh, that woman is no longer attractive. Enrico is not interested. And then the creature attacks Galdar. Enrico's like, oh no, Galdar, my Notor friend. And then he draws a rapier, strikes a Captain Morgan pose with a chair, and leaps onto the bar and runs towards this creature, saying, "I will save you."
Okay. So go ahead and you can close the distance. It's within 30 feet. So.
Okay, let's see here. Calculating that +1 bonus. 15 to hit.
You stab at it, and the weird bonish structure of this creature, you are repelled.
Oh, I have extra attack because I'm a fighter of level 5.
Yes.
Oh, I get to reroll a nat 1 because I just got a nat 1. So I'm going to do that.
There you go.
Oh, 20. There we go. That's better.
That is way better, yeah. So go ahead and roll your damage against Sharon.
Eight points of damage.
Okay. 8 points of damage to Sharon. You get the feeling that Sharon may be slightly resistant to your non-magical blade.
Ma'am, I will have to ask you to leave the establishment.
Let us see. So, as a reaction to being hit, those cold eyes turn on you. And a small bolt of coldish energy shoots forth from Sharon and impacts you. And you will also take 4 points of necrotic damage.
Oh.
from Sharon. And her evil nature. Is there anything else you'd like to do?
No, I think that's good.
Okay. Next up after Enrico is Gladriel.
Gladriel, oh god, Gladriel is going to hold up her right hand, point it at her, and cast Hold Person.
Okay. Go. It's a wisdom save.
Wisdom save 14.
All right. You know what?
Ma'am, if you cannot behave yourself, I'm gonna have to ask you to leave.
I will say because of your Arcana check before that you would know she technically is as a golem type creature counts as a construct, not a person.
Oh,
So I won't let you waste that spell because you knew that already.
okay. What about, does she look still intelligent?
No, she doesn't look very intelligent at all.
Okay.
Do you have hold
She
construct?
looks intelligent,
your
but not like not like she has some intelligence, but not a ton, if that makes sense.
And everything is just gonna destroy this bar.
You shatter. You shatter.
Knock her out with your fists,
I guess
old
I'll
lady.
just cast a firebolt.
Okay, go ahead and make an attack roll.
22
Oh yeah, that totally hits.
for 2d10. Where's my other d10? 17.
17. Damn. All right. You watch as this impacts into her, into what was once Sharon, and it appears that she reels back from this, and it appears that the fire has gone above and beyond, and you feel like you did arguably twice the amount of damage you figured you would have done.
I'm pretty strong.
And she's patting herself out as you impact her with this fire. Anything else?
No, that's gonna end my turn.
Okay. So after that is Dr. Thaddeus.
All right. How's she looking?
It's hard to say. Terrifying is the right answer.
I'm going to take the non-violent approach here, and I'm going to go ahead and cast Sleep.
Okay. All right. Go
See how
ahead
that
and
works out
roll
for me.
your sleep. And I'm assuming you're going to attempt to orient this in such a way that you're not going to knock out your teammates as well.
Sleep lets you choose the targets.
That's it does. That's right. Okay. So go for it.
23.
You watch as momentarily she dozes, and then she thinks better of it. Anything else you would like to do? I'm also gonna put an image up on the overlay here to show everybody what Sharon looks like in case they're curious, because clearly the image from the book was a little washed out. So here we go. Here is what Sharon looks like, folks. I'll put her over my face for the moment. So there you go.
Classic Sharon look.
Classic Sharon.
Let me
Classic Sharon.
speak to your manager.
Yeah, that sounds right. I'm just gonna turn to the applicant who is wearing a suit and
Yes.
say, "Now's your chance. Prove yourself."
Make me a persuasion check.
I figured this is the one who wants the job the most. So that's a nat 20.
All right.
Nice.
That's actually, I'm rolling on roll 20. That's 2 nat 20s for a 26 total.
All right. So he will straighten his tie a little bit, and he will hoist his briefcase, and he's like, "Well, beggars can't be choosers," and he will rush towards this golem with his briefcase in hand, and he just starts smacking it with the briefcase. We'll see how he does. He rolls a natural 20 on his briefcase attack.
Yes.
That's our guy.
The rest of you can go home.
And even though,
no longer needed.
you know what? Because it's funnier, we're gonna have it do. It does 4 points of damage as he impacts with this briefcase, and you notice, strangely, that perhaps the buckles on this briefcase and the hinges, they seem to be made of a strange metal. Like, these are adamantine buckles on this briefcase, seeming
Wow.
to do full damage to...
Why is he going for a job at a coffee shop? This guy's rich.
Maybe he just loves coffee. Okay, that is... Oh, we're gonna have to put him in here as well.
Good work.
That is Felix. So Felix goes after Thaddeus. And then it's Bosco's turn. And you watch as he lopes. I should also take the image off the face so I can move. Lopes towards this thing, puts his arms up in the air, and it's just like, ah! And he yells at the thing, and it doesn't affect it. And he seems like put off that it didn't work. So then he walks in, and you see he tries to grapple this creature. So we'll see how Bosco does.
There you go, Bosco.
Bosco got a... That's pretty freaking good, actually. Bosco got... What is that? 22? Yeah, 22. And the creature got a 21. So Bosco grapples Sharon and has her in his arms and is just holding her there. And that is all Bosco can do. And we'll go back to the top, and Galdor, you and Larry are sitting there, and you see this all unfold.
Yeah. So I put down the alcoholic coffee for a second. Would you say that Bosco at this point is restraining this creature?
He is definitely he's definitely got her grappled. She can't move.
Okay. So I will, I think just seeing the effect of the fire, I'm just going to let one hand out as I'm kind of still leaning up against the bar with my skeleton buddy. And I too am just going to let out a firebolt myself.
Go ahead and make that roll.
Okay. So let's see. Oop. I haven't played a caster in a while. All right. That is going to be a... Because he's restrained, do I get advantage or anything?
Sure. Why not? He's also on fire, so...
I like this DM. This is good DMing.
This is for charity, so...
Range attack is 22.
All right, that does hit. So go ahead and roll, what is it, 2d10, because you're level 5?
Yeah. 12 fire damage.
All right, which you know instinctively with your intelligent wizard mind is actually 24 fire damage, because it seems to be vulnerable to this fire.
Just as I thought. Nice job, Gertrude, for taking initiative. I look over at the small old woman.
You mean Miriam?
Gladriel.
Or you mean which old woman? Because there's the human wizard and there's the one with the knitting needles. All right. Yeah. Anything else on your turn?
Yeah, and I say, come on, Larry, let's get out of here. I both action Misty Step back into Ned's office.
All right, you appear there and you hear the clinking of bones as the no opportunity attacks because you Misty Step and you just appear in Ned's office.
Yep.
And you see him there, and he almost had the candy cane open, and your appearance, he startled him and he dropped the candy cane on the floor.
Should probably pick that up.
And he's like,
I start unwrapping a muffin that I stole off the counter.
All right, fair. And he's just like, "Aye, Minter is coming," and he picks up the candy cane off the floor.
Yeah.
All right, after your turn, it is Sharon's turn. So Sharon has had about enough of this nonsense from you all. She just wanted her coffee, and instead she got Minotaur sass and alcohol. So she is going to just kind of reach up in, and you watch as swirling cold winds begin to spin around her, and they out through the bar. And I will need, let's see, 15-foot radius. So 15-foot radius. So I guess that would be Enrico, Felix, and Bosco need to make Constitution saving throws against this cold damage.
Looking at a 15 from me.
Oh,
All right.
shit.
So that's
He's
gonna.
right. Minter is coming.
So unfortunately, that will fail. So I'm gonna roll. I'm gonna roll some dice over here.
Oh, shit.
It's
I'm
for.
just gonna roll some dice.
How did Felix do?
Oh no.
Oscar, for that matter.
We'll see. We'll see how they did. Felix did surprisingly well on the roll, but he's not surprisingly hardy because he's like dude off the street. So
Yeah.
I believe the term in Dungeons and Dragons is a
Street with an animanium briefcase.
yeah. I mean, not the whole briefcase, just the buckles.
Still,
I mean, maybe he
Mexican
just has, maybe he's got a rich family and they're like, here, go get a job because we don't want you to be a deadbeat because you have rich parents.
Yeah.
That's enough dice, right? Let's see.
Oh, you're not rolling? I thought those were rolls.
No, that those are rolls. We're just gonna knock 2 of those dice off of the list there. We'll just take it down. If you haven't played with me before, I have a tendency 1 to roll high and 2 to let my games get a little on the lethal side. So, that. Well, let's see here. So that's 5, 10.
That's the tale of Enrico Monbon.
At least if Enrico dies, he'll be perfectly preserved in ice, so everyone will be able to witness his beauty.
So that is gonna be 18 points of cold damage,
Oh, sure, yeah.
and you take all 18.
Yeah.
Felix, unfortunately, even though he passed the save, that was like quadruple his hit points. So Felix is an ice cube. He's frozen, briefcase back up in the air, frozen solid. And,
That's our guy.
And Bosco manages to tank that damage and still manages to keep his grip.
Guess he wasn't qualified.
Then that was her turn. So after her turn is Enrico.
Let's see. I'm going to make 2 attacks.
Okay.
I have to remember what my attack bonus is again. There we go. 24 and a 27.
Those will both hit.
Oh, a total of 23 piercing damage.
Okay. So, unfortunately, halved due to the nature of this, but still a solid amount of damage. And she's taking note of you now more than before. Like she wasn't really you didn't really offend her enough to have her focus on you. Now she kind of like whips around to give you a look, and like you watch as those cold pits of icy blue energy stare down at you, and she grins into this toothy smile, but that's all she does.
As a bonus action, I use what is it called? Second Wind.
Yeah.
And regain 12 hit points.
Okay. Not a bad call.
and I say, it is too bad he was so qualified.
All right. Then after your turn is Dr. Thaddeus. Or no, sorry, is Gladriel. Gladriel.
So he's just. Oh, she got out, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anybody that's around her?
Oh no, she's still grappled by. Enrico is there, and she's still grappled by Felix, or by Felix by Bosco.
I guess this is a.
So like a fireball might not be the best move.
That's what it sounds like.
Also, we're in a building made of wood.
Yeah, that probably won't be good. So we'll just continue to firebolt.
Okay.
10.
To hit, unfortunate.
That'd be 11. Sorry.
Unfortunately, that still misses. Anything as a bonus action?
Nah, I'm saving it.
Okay. Sounds good. Then after you, then it is Dr. Thaddeus.
What applicants are left?
You have Miriam, the old lady with the knitting needles.
Okay.
And you have Sandra, the 18-year-old girl who looks like she'd rather be anywhere else.
Got it. Does she still seem completely disinterested in all of this?
Yep, basically.
That's what I thought. Okay. I'll just turn to like the two of them and say, well, there's one less applicant. Any other takers?
You can make me a persuasion check again. We're gonna say this one's at disadvantage though, because the last applicant died.
18.
All right. So Sandra is just like, whatever. I don't even need this job. And she just sits there, and Miriam's like, well, okay. And she shuffles forward, her little grandma feet, still knitting the whole way. Is there anything else you want to do on your turn?
Yeah. I'll go ahead. I'll cast a shocking grasp on this thing. Actually, wait, no, that's touch. I'd have to get close to it. I don't wanna
Yes.
do that. Screw that.
No, you already said it. You got it.
If you don't want to get close to this thing, you don't have to.
No, I'll go ahead and I'll throw a magic missile at it.
Okay, yeah, go ahead and roll the damage for your magic missile. Remember, each missile is at +1 on top of whatever the roll is because of the blessing. So it's 1d4 +2 for each missile.
Okay. Remind me, for wild magic surges, is it if you roll a 20 that the wild
Let's
magic
just
happens?
say that it happens because that's
Cool,
more
it
fun.
happened.
All right,
Here we go.
all right.
Cast
Go
fireball
ahead.
on yourself.
Go ahead.
So let me go ahead and roll a d100.
Yeah.
Also, magic missile 3 bolts did 9. Wait, it's
1d4
1
+2.
1d bolt. So
Yeah.
so that's an 11
11.
force damage from the magic missile.
Okay.
And then on that wild magic table, I rolled a 22.
Wait, did I just hear that you're auto invoking the wild magic?
No. I rolled a d20 and it came
Okay.
up with a 20.
Okay.
I was asking if it was when you roll a 20 or a 1, really.
Creatures have disadvantage on saving throws against the next spell you cast in the next minute that involves a saving throw.
Oh, okay.
Not.
That's good, I guess.
I feel like you were hoping for the fireball centered on yourself.
Yeah, maybe. Or like polymorph.
That would also be good. All right, so you do that. Miriam has made it halfway with her old lady speed, shuffling across the floor, still knitting. She adjusts her big bifocal glasses, and she continues to knit and move. Then it's Bosco's turn. Bosco is going to crunch, try to just like with the grapple, just like bear hug this thing and try to do some damage that way. Bosco's got a 12 plus. What does he have? plus what? Plus 17 to hit for Bosco. So he's gonna.
What is Bosco, by the way?
What is Bosco? Bosco
Yeah.
is a perfectly normal human male.
Okay, so this woman is now like an 8-foot tall monstrosity, and he's hugging it.
Yeah, he's
Okay.
like he's like 6 feet tall, but he's not.
All right.
Bosco's gonna deal reduced because of the not magic 4 points of damage with his little crush that he's trying to do with this bear hug. All right, then it's gonna go back to the top. We can cross out Felix, and it's Galdar's turn. You are in Ned's office.
I turn to Larry and I'm like, I point over at the little candy cane, and I'm like, Larry, you go open that candy cane for that guy.
And Larry shambles over the clinking of bones. He bends down, and it's real bad. Like, he's poorly put together, so it is like really, really animated. And he picks up that candy cane and he unwraps it and he hands it to Ned, but still like holding the wrapper, so it's not like gross skeleton fingers on the candy cane.
No, Larry, I want that.
Oh, and then he goes to Ned's like, and he just hands it over to you, and Ned just looks like distraught.
Okay, I stick the candy cane in my mouth, and then I use my action to cast mage armor on myself.
Okay,
And that's my turn.
all right, and Ned is just like
Crying?
he's definitely crying now.
Yes.
You have brought Ned to tears.
Yes.
And you see him like grip the chair that he's in and like stand up halfway and then like sit back down. And he puts his heads in his hands. And he's got that whole like that iconic image of Ned Stark on the Iron Throne where he just like looks defeated off to the side. Like that's what he looks like in the chair in the back room right now. Yeah, Ned's gonna be of no use in this fight. So now it's Sharon's turn. So Sharon gets back her icy wind attack, and she's gonna use it again. So I will need Enrico and Bosco to make Constitution saving throws.
Okay, that's much better. That's a 20.
Okay, you pass, so does Bosco. So we'll call it 8 points of cold damage. And Bosco is barely alive and still holding, but barely. Okay, after Sharon, it is Enrico.
Enrico sees Miriam start to shuffle her way over, and he says, "No, Miriam, you are too beautiful to die." And then he does a front flip off of the bar and pushes the frozen body of Felix over so it falls over and shatters, and positions himself between Miriam and Sharon.
Okay.
And then attacks Sharon while action surging. So I attack 4 times.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's get those 4 attacks.
All right. First attack's a 21. Second attack's a 19. Third attack's a 16. Fourth attack is an 11.
All right, so the last 2 missed, unfortunately.
Wow.
Jeez.
We're looking at a total of 26 piercing damage.
Not bad, although still reduced. You're chipping away at her bone exterior, and you can see like things are starting to break. There's definitely like a rib has been cleaved off with your rapier, which is impressive to cleave a rib with a rapier, but you find a way to do it. So anything else from Enrico?
He poses dramatically.
It looks great. It's inspiring.
That's inspiring.
To Miriam. Gladriel, it's your turn.
Gladriel doesn't really like Miriam that much because she's old just like her. And
Fair.
Pokemon rival of elders.
she's poor in the market. You know what I'm saying? So at this point, she just wants this over with. She's gonna cast Shatter
Okay.
at third level.
All right.
It's a con
With
save.
yeah. Okay. Let's do that. What's the save?
14.
That is a 12. So that is gonna be
Perfect.
a fail. So let's see what you got. Are you taking care to position it upwards to not kill Bosco and Enrico, or are you just going for it?
I'm aiming it more towards Miriam.
All right, so then I think for this to work, I'm also going to need Enrico to make a con save since you positioned yourself
I'll do
between the two.
Worth it.
My hands are shaky. Like,
All right.
not as good as I used to be.
My hands are shaking.
Oh
I'm
man,
still getting
arthritic
it.
wizards.
All right, so what's the save? Is a 14. So
14.
DC 14.
That's a 21. I made it.
All right, so you made it. What's the damage? It's 48, I think.
Yeah. Oh, that's cocked. 22 points of damage.
22 points of damage. So you'll take 11 points, Enrico.
I think. Okay, never mind. It's in a 10-foot cone. Thunder damage. And if they have stone or crystal or metal, I'm not sure what the construct was made out of, but
Well, it had disadvantage on the save because it's a constructed creature. Or at least that's what I'm giving it anyway. So it did fail the save, and it is now a mess. Like, it is broken, pieces are falling off. It is still together and seems as though it would be able to still function for a time, but it is a fraction of what it was when Sharon assaulted you at the start. So Miriam has to make a Constitution saving throw.
No way,
Does it even matter?
She's like 80, right?
Yeah, Miriam is not. Oh no, Miriam. Miriam got a natural 1.
Oh shit.
You watch as Miriam is just like, she looks to you, Enrico, and because the way I imagine Shatter is, it's basically just an intense vibration, because it doesn't make noise, it's just an intense vibration, and things just basically just shatter. So she just looks to you, Enrico, as this wave of thunderous energy comes over, and she's just like, she doesn't want to go. And then she just is dust and gone.
Only thing left is knitting needles. that
Knitting
clatter
needles
across.
clatter to the floor and an unfinished scarf.
Oops.
Miriam, you were caught in the crossfire.
Dr. Thaddeus.
All
I
right.
tried everything not to hit her.
I'm gonna. Now that this thing is actually injured, I'm gonna try sleep one more time.
Okay. Go ahead and roll for your sleep.
That is an 18.
Let's just check. There's nothing that says immunity to magical sleep, so you watch as Sharon. Well, actually doesn't fall, she just lows limp in Bosco's arms.
Hmm.
So she is unconscious.
I turn towards the other applicant and I say, "Congratulations, you got the job."
And she's like, yeah, whatever. Twirls her hair a little bit. She's got gum, I guess, blows a bubble, pops it.
You showed great wisdom in not rushing into battle when you're not prepared. That's the
she's-
kind of skill that we need in a bartender.
And she's like, yeah, it's like what I do. I don't do anything.
Exactly what all of us do here at this coffee shop.
All right.
I did.
So it's asleep. It's not dead. It's just asleep. And he,
Moscow, could you get this thing out of here?
and he's like, okay. And he'll like start to
I'm
leave.
gonna. I want to like pour coffee down its throat and see if it turns back into a human. I don't know
Okay.
if that's how that works or not.
Okay. Yeah. So you go and you get the coffee. And we'll just say through looking through like the till, you found what the coffee order was supposed to be from before, and you pour it down the throat of this creature, and yeah, it does unripple and transform back into Sharon. And she wakes up because of the coffee, and she's like, "That's all I wanted. Why is this place like this? Come on, Billy." And she picks up her kid who's been on the floor the whole time and just walks out of the shop.
Billy was there in the range of the shatter.
Yeah. That's oh, you're right.
Listen,
We're doing
Listen,
it.
it's
We're
extra
doing
life.
a charity.
we're doing charity to save children.
Yeah, we're gonna not Billy's gonna be okay.
Billy's fine. Billy has magical protection.
No. Yeah, it's within that range.
But Billy is also asleep now.
Billy is also asleep. So she picks up Billy and then she walks out of the shop.
Enrico is going to run over to Miriam's ashes.
Yeah.
And just kneel by them. And just hold her knitting needles in his hands as the ashes run through them, and just scream to the ceiling, "Porque!"
You, Galdar, from Ned's office, hear "Porque!" from the other room. Because you were in the back.
Habla español. I turn.
And you look back out of Ned's office and you see the destruction. You see Sharon is gone. You see chairs and tables toppled over, some of them coated in ice. You see a frozen statue of what was Felix, and you see Enrico on the ground holding knitting needles in his hands. And dust is kind of swirling in the air, looking up at the sky. And then
Don't forget I knocked over that frozen statue. So you see
oh yeah, chunks of Felix on the ground. That's right.
Oh, wow. I put the candy cane back in my mouth, suck on it for a little bit. I turn back. I turn back to look at my boss. What does my boss look like still?
A wreck as you continue. And there's a little bit of envy as you suck on the candy cane.
Okay, I suck on the candy cane and look at him, and I burn my second level spell slot to detect thoughts.
I could tell you what he's thinking.
What am I getting?
All right, let me look up detect thoughts real quick, and we'll get exactly what you can get. So, when you cast a spell, choose any creature within 30 feet. As an action, you can read the surface most thoughts of the creature. The surface most thoughts are like, "But my candy cane. Why? I just wanted a little bit of peppermint before peppermint season takes us over. I never was a fan of pumpkin spice, but the kids, they love it. I don't get it. Minter is coming." And then there's just waves of sadness as you watch another single tear roll down his cheek. You can, if you wish, try to probe deeper into his mind. He has to make a wisdom saving throw. He's currently unaware that you're detecting his thoughts.
Right.
But if you probe deeper, he knows that you're trying to get in there and figure out what's deep set behind that. But that's up to you.
Okay. All right. Well, as I'm detecting the surface thoughts, I walk over closer to him where he's sitting down. I pop the candy cane out of my mouth and I put it into his mouth.
And there's like
then I probe deeper.
Oh no. So again, can we, for those of you following along at home and who may not have missed this, Galdar is a minotaur. So imagine that big old slobbery bull mouth pulling out a candy cane and then sticking it in your mouth. Not the most appetizing scenario.
Slowly.
Yeah. Very slowly, and then as he rapes your mind to get more information from it.
Why are you gonna say it like that? I'm just taking.
Don't use that word.
So you have, what's your save DC?
My save DC, it should be pretty good. It's 15.
Okay.
Yeah, it's 15.
I thought you were gonna say safe word.
All right. So because of the candy cane, he has disadvantage on the saving throw, as he finally got what he wanted, and he rolls a 7. so you can indeed probe deeper into his mind. You gain insight into its reasoning, its emotional state, and something that looms large in its mind. Such as something it worries or loves, or worries over or hates. Either way, the target knows that you're probing into its mind unless you shift your attention to another creature. Questions verbally directed at the target creature naturally shape the course of its thoughts, so the spell is particularly effective as part of interrogation. Yeah. So.
I want to know what worries him deeply.
Okay. You probe deeper into his mind, and you know that one of the things that worries him deeply is disappointing his wife. He's very upset at this business venture not going well, and the fact that he decided to invest and become a manager in a coffee shop, whether this will annoy his wife, who you would also know is another one of the managers. She also works here. And he doesn't want to upset or disappoint her. He's big on family. He doesn't want to upset his family or disappoint his family in any way. And you see he's got a lot of back and forth on whether or not this was the right decision. Should he have taken this job, or should he have gone and done something else with his life? And he's really conflicted about it. And he doesn't this will be the first time that you guys are kind of because it was just getting set up in the initial run of the coffee shop before they started rolling into the seasonal drinks, and the pumpkin spice thing seemed to go real well, and he loves peppermint himself, but he doesn't know if it'll be as well received by the populace, so he's very worried about Minter coming.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. I say, enjoy that sucker. I'm gonna go back to work. Larry, come on, let's go.
You and Larry shambles out behind you as you make
noises.
And
there is a point where with Enrico when he's holding the ashes and the knitting needles, and he's just tears are running down his face, and then suddenly he looks around at the wanted destruction, and his face just goes totally normal. He stands up. He's like, "Oh no, Enrico is not cleaning this up. Enrico is on break." And then he walks outside to smoke a cigarette and take a short rest.
Okay, all right. So that's fine. That happens, and you are left with Gladriel, Dr. Thaddeus, and Sandra. Oh, and Abraham, who's just been behind the bar the whole time reading his newspaper, just not wanting to be there.
Gladriel kind of rolls her eyes and casts prestidigitation to clean up the area.
All right, so it takes a little bit. You cast a little bit of magic. You clean it up. You guys can reset back up the chairs. And things seem as though they are relatively back to normal. And Sandra's just what do I do?
Don't worry about that.
Oh.
You stand behind the counter, and if anyone asks for anything, you give it to them. And take their money.
And she's like, oh, well, I can do that. And she goes and stands behind the bar and sits on a stool. And she just sits there. And
no one's going to come in anyways.
So, at that point, you see 4 older women come in the bar, and they go to the table in the middle of the room.
I cast
My rivals.
And they go sit at the center table. And they don't want to pay. They just want hot water. They don't want any tea or coffee or anything. They just order hot water, since that doesn't cost anything. And they sit at the prime table in the middle of the room, and they start playing bridge. And you listen to whatever.
Do I hear the order?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just just hot water, please.
I got it, guys. Don't worry.
Oh God.
Do you just leave?
I turn towards the bar.
Okay. Okay. And they sit there and they're like, "Ah, I thought Miriam would be here today. I wonder where she is." I know she was making that sweater for her grandson. Maybe she finished it. And they sit and they sit at the table, and they're playing cards, and you see them pull out like they're waiting for the hot water basically to come over. And what does
Okay.
Galdar bring them?
I'm going to the bar. I'm looking for any clear liquors, vodka or
Yeah, vodka would probably be the most abundant.
yeah, sure.
Don't worry, I have something that'll help you too. And I
Okay.
pull out from my side just like a couple of flasks of a sort of swirling clear liquid.
Oh yeah,
I
throw it
know.
right in there. Go ahead.
Yep.
Okay, so do you bring the cups over to them?
No, one more. I got one more ingredient, and I've got the 4 cups, and I kind of walk in that direction again, but I look to the side into the manager's room. Is Ned still in there?
He's still in there.
Is he still sucking on the peppermint stick?
He is.
Okay, I walk in there
Oh no.
and I say, "Hey, Ned. Sorry, customer service." And I pull the peppermint stick out of his mouth, and I put it into
And it's just like, as you take it from him, he's just like, it hurts so much.
Actually, yeah, I break it into the.
And he like each time he flinches each time you break the pepper.
Crack it.
He's just-
And then put a piece in each cup. And this is sorry is what they ordered, and I bring the cups out to the women.
And he's just like, eh. And you hear like a soft like whimper cry as you shut the door.
Great.
And you bring them over their Dr. Thaddeus liquid with peppermint sticks.
Yep.
Okay.
And I turn to them and I just say, "Ladies, it's on the house."
And they're
I
like,
put it down.
"Oh, thank you. It should be. It's just hot water." And then as you walk away, you watch them each take like tea bags out of their purse and put tea bags in the hot water so they don't have to pay for the tea. They put the tea in, and then you see them like casually like sneak like sugar packets and like put them in the tea.
Mhm.
Now,
Yeah, go ahead and mask it all you want. Go ahead.
now, Dr. Thaddeus, can we tell the internet what these lovely mixtures do?
Yeah, I'm gonna need every single one of those old ladies to roll a D100 wild magic roll.
Yes, because this is Dr. Thaddeus's special brew that triggers wild magic surges when they drink it.
I got 4 of them.
So, first up will be Betty. Betty rolls a 50. Betty can't speak because whenever she tries, pink bubbles fly out of her mouth.
Good. That's good.
Mary Lou.
That's a good prank. Let's see what happens next.
I literally like after that I walk back to the bar next to Dr. Thaddeus, and I just lean against the bar, and me and him are just watching this unfold.
So Mary Lou.
These are good elixirs. They're good for the bones.
Yeah,
You watch as a mechanical creature appears next to Mary Lou, a small spheroid mechanical creature with a singular central eye and mechanical wings appears next to Mary Lou and just is there for the moment. We don't know what it's doing.
Oh shit, Larry, go say hi.
And Larry, he shambles on over as he's wont to do. Let's see. Then we have Jane. Jane got a 93. What does that mean?
Oh, that's good.
Jane becomes large size, so she grows to she is now considered large size as the mechanics go. So she's like 8 to 10 feet tall for the next minute.
How many calories are in that elixir of yours?
And Hazel,
Calorie free.
Hazel, let's see. Let's go with this. Hazel looks to you, Enrico. She sees you out the window, or as you're coming back in, and she goes, You look like you're having some difficulty, my friend. And she points to you, and she says, lift your spirits, and she casts fly on you. So you now have a fly speed for the next hour, minute? Whatever the fly spell is. I think it's
kind of a big deal. Let's see.
Let's see. Let's find out. For the next 10 minutes, you have a fly speed of 60 feet.
Not bad.
Sure.
Galadriel is just like burning a hole. Yeah, like, just staring at him. Like scolding at him.
I mean, after that, Enrico's gonna go up to that to the table and be like, "Oh, beautiful ladies," and he's gonna take like a flower out of somewhere, like his pocket or something.
Yeah, that he has.
And the one who cast the spell, and he's like, "Truly, you are as beautiful as the flower that blooms in the desert." Gives her this flower, and like kisses her hand or something while he's floating in the air.
And she's like, oh. Little old lady quivers. That would be Hazel.
That'd be Hazel, okay. And then he looks sideways at the giant woman and just is a little weirded out.
All right.
There's nothing wrong with tall women.
Nothing wrong with that at all. So, again, we have had a lot of new folks pop in and out of the chat. Just to break immersion for a second there. There's the link to the Extra Life if you guys want to donate to the folks here and help sick kids like Billy, who has a very unfortunate golem mom that we found out about in the course of this game. You can do that and alter the way things happen for here. I mean, guys, I'm a little, not that I'm pressuring you, Internet, but I'm a little shocked. We've got an hour and a half and no one's put a deck of many things in this game. What is going on? They don't need it, though. They've got Sharon and Dr. Thaddeus' magic
The
surge.
third party is many things. That's what we are.
That is true. So Sandra is there. She's now your new bartender, and these old ladies are hanging out, and they are they're playing bridge. They're getting the stare down from Gladriel. Enrico is hitting on them. After about a minute of Enrico's hitting on these different women, or specifically Hazel, who cast fly on him, Jane will shrink down to regular size.
Were they just playing cards instead?
Yeah, they just kept playing bridge the whole time. And they're like, there's something in the water here today. Must be... This is wonderful. Can we get another? And they gesture to you, Galdar. He said it was on the house.
Oh snap! I kind of bumped the doctor like, oh shit! All right, we'll do this again, I guess. I go get 4 more mugs, fill them with vodka, and go back to the doctor.
Yeah, sure, why not?
Okay, cool. I'll keep adding them.
Yeah, why not?
I get 4 more.
Yeah.
I look down at the other woman that's working here. To Gertilda, you want one of these two? You're looking kind of envious. You want one of these two? Would you fit in?
That was to you, Gladriel. He continued. Gertilda is your new name.
Yeah. I go, these ladies don't deserve this. Oh, this attention. Nothing special about them. And while I'm moving my hands back and forth, I'm going to cast Flaming Spear.
Oh my god! All right.
You're just gonna murder these ladies? Why did we hire you?
Give him a hot
Very spiteful.
They are taking up the best table.
They are taking up... Well, there won't be a best table. Well, now I have a quest for later. Get a better table.
Oh, here's a question real quick, though. Did they deal the Modron into the bridge game?
Yes, they absolutely did.
Good. He follows all the rules.
Is Larry getting along with?
Yeah. The Modron is... They're conversing in some sort of... It seems like a series of ones and zeros and clicks and clacks and not a language that most people understand. But for some reason, Larry understands the Modron language.
Yeah, he's just having fun.
Well, yeah.
He's not going to have fun for much longer, but we'll see what happens.
No, he's not. So, first of all, Gladriel, would you like to drink this elixir before you cast your flaming sphere or after?
Yes. I will drink it before.
So go ahead and roll me a percentile.
And I just down it. Percentile. 21.
21. Roll again. We had that one already.
Yeah, it's
Let's pick a different one. Although it would give them all disadvantage on the dex save, not that they really need it.
65.
65. All right, up to 3 creatures of your choice within 30 feet of you take 4d10 lightning damage,
Oh yeah.
Well, we know who those creatures are.
and then the flaming sphere goes off.
We'll do Hazel.
Yep.
'Cause I just don't like that girl. I forget the other ones.
You
I don't remember.
got Betty, Mary Lou, and Jane.
I guess I'll Betty and Jane as well.
Okay. So there, you're just gonna you go ahead and roll me 4d10 lightning damage.
You know,
I think
extra
1d10
life,
would
trying
be
to save
enough.
kids.
Nothing about the elderly.
Yeah, let's just kill women instead, I guess, is what we're doing today.
God. Why does anyone come into this coffee shop?
That is a great question. You can see why Ned is so worried. It's just straight up 4d10. That's what they take, and then your flaming sphere goes off.
24 points.
All right, so you guys watch as in like a Darth, like an Emperor Palpatine Emperor fashion. Gladriel looking at these women. And the lightning shoots forth from his fingers, and buzz, 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 and it just like you will see the cheesy Star Wars. You see their skeleton in their body as they get impacted with these lightning bolts, and they all keel over dead, electrified from this. And then
Might have brewed that one wrong.
Mary Lou is there, and she's just like, "What?" And she like looks. She's like is startled and terrified for a second, and then she like takes all of the money off the bridge table.
And then the fire in my eyes transforms into a 5-foot diameter sphere of fire underneath her chair.
All right, let me make a dexterity saving throw. What's your save?
14.
All right, so she fails. Go ahead and roll me. Was it 2d6 fire?
Come on, Larry.
Oh shit. 11.
All right, well, it's only under her chair, so Larry and the Modron are safe.
Oh,
She just
awesome.
gets incinerated.
Okay, that one was not me.
They paid already, right?
Enrico, what is going through your mind right now? You watch as Gladriel. You watch as now you all see behind the probable glasses that Gladriel has. Yes? No glasses?
Yes.
The eyes have changed, and they are now yellow with a ring of red around the inside. They look like Sith eyes. Apparently, Gladriel has been a Sith this whole time, as she force lightnings these 3 women to death, and then fireballs the other flaming spheres the other one.
I slowly walk over while kind of casting prestidigitation to clean up the mess, and then I take the money
Gladriel,
and
we
wipe
can't just
off
have you killing our worst customers.
We got paid for it.
I just kind of look down and go,
They got what they deserved.
Enrico is totally oblivious to Galadriel's vendetta against all these other old women. But he just sees them all die, and he's like, easy come, easy go. And then he just floats over. He's like, back to the espresso machine. So he just floats over and the espresso machine starts working.
Oh, man. All right. So, that...
Can we rename this campaign to Viscera Cleanup Detail? Have you seen that game?
That is what it's quickly turning into. Guys, $487 thus far. Thank you all to all the
Alright,
auditions that have come through. as a reminder, which may need to happen sooner rather than later, if we hit $500, then it turns into death saving throws are 15 or higher to pass. I didn't think there'd be so much wanton death and murder, but there may be more coming in the next hour, as Gladriel has her vendetta against literally every old woman that comes into the shop.
We're really going for like a more young, hip clientele. I think it'll be fine.
They were taking up prime real estate.
I look over to the new teenage worker. What does she look like? Does she react to any of the fucking mad electricity and flame balls, or is she just chilling?
She's like, it's hot.
I should nod.
And she goes over to you, Gladriel, and she says, I really like the way you killed all those old ladies.
Oh, I could show you sometime.
And she's like, that'd be cool.
What is happening right now?
I'm still nodding.
Would you fix me an old fashioned while you're at it?
And she's like, sure. She like goes behind the bar and she's like, I don't know how to do that.
Well, you're a bartender.
Oh yeah, I don't know how to do that. I just like
Just like real life.
Oh, just make me something nice and strong then.
and she's just like, okay. And she like goes behind the bar and like you see her like twirling her hair and just like looking at all of the alcohol and like all of the mixers and like she's just like, all right. And she takes like all of the alcohols and puts like a little bit of every alcohol into a cup. And she's like, whatever, this is probably strong.
I just take a drink of it. It's like,
And she's like, yeah, that's what I thought. Oh shit, $500, folks.
oh,
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
All right. So as you're doing this, and she's like, "Ha, strong." Ned comes out from the back, and he's like, and he's a broken shell of a man now, and he's just like, I don't know what's going on. He says, but we've got, and he like looks around, and he's like, he looks at the bar and the coffee shop and just like remind you there's broken pieces of a frozen corpse, there's dust of another, 3 lightning charred corpses, and 1 burning with the flaming sphere still sitting there, I assume, and a modron and a skeleton, all of which were not there when he arrived for his shift this morning. And he's just like, and he just like, it just is like adds one more layer of the depression to him that he already has. So he just seems like sort of unfazed by it, but he's just like,
Ned, here, this will make you feel better. I'm still holding 3 of those drinks.
Oh no! All right.
I hand it out to him. I say, this will make you feel better, buddy.
And he looks down into it and he sees the slowly dissolving remains of the candy cane. And he like throws the whole thing back and he looks and he looks down and he didn't get the candy cane. It's still in the cup.
Yeah.
Like he did the whole shot
There, yeah.
and he's just like, and then he has to make a percentile because of the WoW magic search.
Yeah.
God.
Okay. Speedy, thank you for making this character. This
You're
has
welcome.
added so much to this. So he gains resistance to all damage for the next minute.
Oh,
He doesn't know that. He's just like, he feels hardier. And then you watch him and his hand is too big to fit into the cup to get the piece of peppermint out the bottom. And he's like trying to get it out so he can finally get the piece of peppermint. And you see him go behind the bar and he gets like a butter knife and he finally pops the piece out and it hits the floor. And he like bends down and he and he finally gets his little piece of peppermint stick after all this time.
I mean, I slowly hand out another one, another mug.
And I
just
screw it.
raise my eyebrow.
Why not? He'll do it. He'll down the next one.
I've got one left.
You watch as he becomes invisible.
Oh shit! Ned.
No boss.
And here's the thing. You don't know this, but Ned finds out very quickly that for the next minute he's invisible, and while he's invisible, no one else can hear him.
Ned.
So he's continually yelling and talking, but no one can hear him as a function of this invisibility.
Right. So he's just gone as far as we were concerned.
Yes. So Dr. Thaddeus, this brew made him
So,
disappear.
Yeah, Dr. Thaddeus.
I should have told you not to give that one to the
What happened to him?
manager.
Is he
What
like gone? Is he like dead? Gone forever? Or do we?
I wouldn't say dead. You know, there are many planes in this world that you can go to when your heart stops to beat and you vanish into the planes of other realities. I don't know.
I'm slowly putting the last mug of it down on the on like the counter, and I'm just leaving it alone.
I grab
I
it.
think what's important here.
Who downs it? Gladriel?
I grab it and look at it.
Okay, you see the little piece of peppermint stick floating about inside it.
What is this thing? What did you put in here?
Just an elixir. It's meant to, taste good and build strong bones.
Oh.
Down it. After it takes some bones.
Build strong bones.
Make me a percentile.
Tell any old woman it'll help their bones, and they'll take it. Whatever it is.
Will it help me sleep at night?
Yes.
74.
It'll fucking kill you.
Roll again. That one's kind of bum.
34.
Uh-oh.
That was a
Fireball.
No, maximize the next damage of the next damaging spell you cast within a minute.
Dude, Ted, you better not put any more old ladies in this bar.
Well, we got another $25 donation, so hold that thought. Let me see what's
You're
being. Yes, I know. I could tell you wanted something to happen. So let's see what we can make pop in here. Ooh, that sounds interesting. Let's check out stuff from our good friends at Kobold Press in their Creature Codex book. Let's see what we can make appear here.
I will point out that somewhere in the background next to the espresso machine, Enrico is gyrating his hips to the song Smooth by Matchbox 20 and Santana while still floating off the ground and making espressos.
Nice.
Completely oblivious to everything else that's been going on.
All right, what do we got as a good one that can happen? That sounds
So
interesting.
now that Ned is gone, I think that as the chief brewer of things, of both coffee and potions, sort of a apothecary of beans, an coffee carry. One of those, I am the new manager. Right? That's how that works.
All right. So as you're saying this, you watch as the ashes and the corpses of the slain dead women kind of begin to shift and move. And they start pulling together into a central area. And you see, Gladriel, see all of this begin to happen. And a voice emanates, a deep, resonating voice emanates throughout the coffee shop. And it says, "You thought you could get away with it, did you?" No, I haven't forgotten. And they all form into this blue kind of glob that just like shaping, and then it appears on the floor. And it is
shit!
let me see if I can get you a good picture of it. Real quick.
Man, I can get you another candy cane, man. Doesn't have to be like this.
We'll get another image. We'll throw this up on the overlay for everybody to see, as well as the party. And some sort of, this guy right here, some sort of Lovecraftian octopus tentacle creature appears in the middle of the room, having formed from the ashes of the fallen old women. And I will need you all to roll for initiative.
All right.
Thought you could escape Cthulhu, did you, Gladriel? Not so much. Slay her servants that only you could see.
My friend.
Alright, so I will take those rolls whenever you guys are ready.
Big 6.
6,
17.
17,
19.
19. Kugo?
Non-natural 20.
Alright.
Ooh.
No other NPCs to deal with except for Sandra, but she ain't doing anything. And this guy.
Wait, what about Bosco?
Oh, Bosco is still there. He is still alive. Good point. Forgot about Bosco for a second. He was taking. He escorted Sharon outside.
Yeah.
Bosco. Oh, I guess we did say. You know what? We let Enrico take a short rest, so if anybody wanted to take a short rest during that time, we can say that happened. So if you wanted to heal, or you get anything back on a short rest, I believe the wizards can arcane recovery if they needed to.
Or just roll some hit dice, right?
Yep, to heal up, and as a wizard, you can get half your spell slot, or up to... as level 5, up to 3 spell slots back. So 3 level 1 slots, or a 2 and a 1, or however you want to swing it.
Oh, okay.
That's a short rest. Once per long rest, a wizard can do that on a short rest.
How many spells can we get back?
A total of 3 slots. It has to be one that you spent. You can't get extra slots. So if you spend a 3rd level slot, you could get 1. You could get a 2nd level and a 1st level, 3 first levels, however the breakdown is.
Awesome.
Do sorcerers get anything back?
No,
I don't think so.
unfortunately. Unless you had any... No, you don't, unfortunately.
No.
All I'd say is.
Actually, wait. I can spend sorcery points.
Yes, you can to get slots back.
Actually, it's
if
a
you want.
bonus action. I'll just save it. I don't need to.
Okay.
do it right now.
Okay, so with that, Galdar, you see this Lovecraftian strange creature, and it says, it basically will say, in all of your minds, and you guys can hear it clear as day in your head, this: I have no quarrel with you. Gladriel is the one I want. But Galdar, it's your turn.
Sorry.
That's okay.
So everyone hears this and we understand it. Everyone
Yes. Yep.
understands
It's in your brain. Yeah.
All right. I get ready to start casting something, and I hear this, and I start to put my hands down. I kind of look around, and I say, "Larry, come on, buddy. Gladrius is gonna do this one."
The Modron comes with him because they're friends now.
Who's your friend?
And he just like gestures and clicks. And the Modron's like,
I hold my hand out to the Modron.
And it like shakes your hand really fast.
Gladriel?
Next up is this Gargoctopus, as it's called. If you're curious, people, it will begin to. It has. You would think a creature like this would have disadvantage or would move in extremely slow on land, and you would be just wrong. this thing can move at a 40-foot movement speed on land, which is just terrifying. Oh, pupper. So imagine it sits up sort of like a Squidward up on its legs, and it comes squaddling over towards you. And it will, let's see.
Sorry, everyone.
It will lash out with its tentacle at you from 15 feet away.
Okay, good.
17 to hit.
Yep, definitely hits.
All right, you will take, from the impact of this tentacle, 9 points of damage. You are grappled and are automatically restrained as well. Okay, and then because it has you grappled, it will forgo one of its other tentacle attacks to make a tentacle slam attack.
Ooh.
So I need you to make me a Constitution saving throw, please.
That's con save. I just want to make sure that I'm not going to be able to. Or do I have any disadvantages or anything?
Not on con saves, no. For whatever reason.
10.
10. All right, it kind of flings you up and smashes you into the ceiling. You will take 11 points of bludgeoning damage.
Oh my god.
We gotta be towing that line for a wizard right now.
I'm hurting pretty bad.
And that's all it does, because it's only after Gladriel at the moment. So, that's its turn. Then it is Galadriel's turn.
If I do this, if I do this, how far away am I?
You are 15 feet from it currently.
Oh my god.
Well, it's got you in a tentacle within 15 feet.
How long are we going for?
You got another hour.
Oh no.
Supposedly, we'll see what happens.
I want to do it, but I don't want to do it.
What do you want to do? I feel like this is a self-sacrifice fireball, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, it would kill me outright.
Well, you
'Cause
could.
I have max damage.
You could angle it far. You could cast behind it, so it would get pulled in the blast and not you.
Sure, we'll do that.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to cast it right on yourself. That's a cool if you want to kill yourself, but if you want to still,
you kind of have to. Let's be honest.
you could throw it behind it and blow it up. That's fine.
I just want to mention that we definitely don't have any healing in this party.
In that, I'm gonna die next round anyway. So yeah, I might as well go out in a blaze of glory. So I'll cast it so that way it doesn't hit anybody else but myself.
But you and the Gargoctopus. All right.
No, just him.
Just me. Ha! All right. So it's
ultimate sacrifice.
so it fails spectacularly.
I'm gonna automatically fail because I'm grappled and restrained.
Yep. So that's 48 points of damage.
48 plus 1.
49 points of damage.
49 points of damage, which
Which
kills me instantly.
Yeah, what's your I'm just curious, what's your current
I'm at
HP?
12. I'm at 12 right now. My max is 32.
Yeah.
As a
kills people.
So long, bitches!
All right, so you guys watch as Gladriel says this, and this fireball explodes. Galadriel is incinerated and has gone out on her own terms.
I don't let anybody decide my fate.
The Gargoctopus is incinerated as well. Still standing, but barely from the fireball, and it beams out to all of you in your heads. My task is complete, and it disappears.
She died as she lived. A grumpy old bitch.
And Rico looks over and he's just like, oh, why are all the old ladies, all the beautiful old women in my life dying today?
Oh man.
Mm.
Is,
Well,
do we see
a-
Ned?
Eventually, yeah, Ned reappears after this because he was only invisible for a minute,
Okay.
and he's just like, "What?"
Ned, thank God you're here. As the manager, I need you to clean this up.
And he's just like, he thinks for a second, and he's like, "No, wait a minute. I'm the manager."
No, you were banished to another plane.
He's like, "No, I was here the whole time. I heard everything you said."
That's not how it seemed to me.
And he's like, "Well, I honestly, I can't argue with that. That's probably not how it seemed to you."
I mean,
I mean,
if you had
Wow.
had some sort of argument against me becoming the manager, you would have spoken up then.
and he's like, "I was, but I guess you couldn't hear me."
Well, you
And-
need to hire somebody
and
else.
he's like, "Yeah."
You saw that.
All of it.
Oh.
Have you ever thought about adding sushi to the menu?
And he's,
Calamari?
and he's just like, "No, but I'll ask my wife what she thinks, and we'll see if we can add that to the list."
How is your wife?
And he's just like, he like looks at you because he knows you probe deeper, regardless of if he passes or fails. And he gives you this look, and he's just like, "Why do you want to know?" "She's fine. She's coming in later."
Great.
Is she old? Because if so, I would recommend against it. So,
And
if
he's,
you want her to live, anyways,
And
just
he-
I'm not. That's not a threat.
He's-
It's just like a trend today, it seems.
and he's like, "Well, I hope that with." He's like, "You know what? I don't." He's like, I need you guys to go pick up. We got a new coffee grinder. I just got the notification. Coffee grinder is gonna get picked up. I need you guys to go pick it up. It's like
Wow.
2 blocks over. There's a warehouse. I'll watch the shop, and I'll clean this up. And he like goes out and he like gets a broom, and he's just like aimlessly sweeping.
Matt, we should probably take care of the fire too.
And he's just like, and he like is batting the fire out with the broom.
Good. Okay. Just make sure the coffee shop is still here when we get back.
And he's like, "Yeah."
Larry, go help him with the fire.
And Larry goes over and he like tries to pat it. He's
No,
scared.
you know, Larry, come back. No, you're coming with us, Larry.
All right, Larry and the Modron go with you. So he sends Enrico, Dr. Thaddeus, and Galdar, and Larry and the Modron to go pick up the coffee grinder that is 2 blocks over at a local warehouse as he sweeps up the ashes of many old ladies. So,
Sandra, you're a wizard, right? With the exact same stats as Galadriel.
and she's like, I don't,
Yes.
and she's like, "I don't know, maybe."
I'm trying to get go.
Yeah, no, we can absolutely make that a thing.
Valley Girl, 18-year-old Valley Girl now.
All right, yeah, why not? So Sandra will have the exact. Well, yeah, sure, the exact same stats and everything as Galadriel. And you can play as Sandra. So now it is. So you just hired this girl, and now Ned is left alone in the shop as you guys leave, because there you go. So you can play Sandra if you wish, Gozira. That's up to you.
I mean, I don't really care.
You're already doing it. Great.
All
You're
right.
hired.
Yeah, so you guys, so he will give you the directions. It's 2 blocks over on...
Jesus.
You guys are going to go past the market. It's on Herd Lane, next to the Godcatcher. So that's where you guys got to head. So you got to head through You're basically going to travel north. You'll go through the open market area of the castle ward, which is like what you'd imagine in a typical like fantasy city, like an open air market where there's a bunch of different stalls with people selling different wares and things. And then beyond that is the street where this warehouse is that has your new coffee grinder. Because you see, internet coffee grinder mode was activated, and I figured I'd incorporate it into the game. So,
Sandra
Got you.
is scribing to her boyfriend.
of course she is. Yeah, I hadn't figured out how I was going to incorporate the fact that she's just on her phone the whole time.
Yeah.
So,
Back and forth.
so you guys, so he sends you out, and you see, and you just hear like a muttering of like Minter under his breath as he's sweeping the floor. And Bosco stays because Bosco's security, so Bosco will help him clean up. But even like you notice that like when Bosco goes to pick up stuff like off the floor, he, rather than like a normal person who bends at the waist to like bend down and pick stuff up, he like goes down onto all fours and then like will pick things up and then will like awkwardly stand up and then like waddle and put it places. His mannerisms don't make any sense.
Bosco a dog?
Do you say
I
that?
never thought about that. I know I'm not saying that to him. I'm saying that to
Yeah.
everyone else as we leave.
Okay, you guys are heading out into the streets. So. Oh, wow. Okay, sorry, we got another donation, 550. I read it wrong because it had the word Godzilla listed in it. But that was just a name. So, not an NPC or a monster for the party to face. So no worries there.
Great.
So yeah, you guys are all in the streets of the great city of Waterdeep. It is around noon time, and you guys have to go pick up a coffee grinder. So you guys can
I'm looking for anything interesting on the way.
Yeah, so the
Shops or anything that looks cool.
so basically as you're walking along, the first kind of row that you guys are here, you see across the street is a tea shop called the Jade Dragon. This tea shop directly across the street from where you guys are. And they seem to also have a decent amount of business. And you see the signage out front says like, who cares about coffee? Have tea instead. So there's that. But as you make your way down kind of the thoroughfare till you come up to the main market area, the kind of open air market, this is where there's a lot of interesting stuff here. So you can see there's a bunch of people selling different shops of all manner of things. Scrolls, potions, trinkets, items, you name it, they've got it here. Is there anything in particular you're looking for?
I'm looking for anywhere that looks like it's selling goods of not so
Go on.
discreet goods.
I see. Paraphernalia of some kind.
Maybe.
Yes, I see. Okay. That's fine.
I can point you in the right direction.
Yes, Dr. Thaddeus seemed you kind of like have this look like you're looking, and Dr. Thaddeus just knows, and he's like,
Yeah.
so he can direct you kind of off to, there's like a very clear, it looks like an apothecary shop, like a little stand, and in front it's got potion bottles and things, and like Dr. Thaddeus knows that like behind the curtain, that's where the real business happens.
Mm-hmm.
So you can go ahead and follow there, Dr. Thaddeus being well known to this place.
Yeah.
Thaddeus, what's up? You know a guy?
Yeah. This is one of my old competitors. Bit of a quack, if you ask me, but some of his goods are quite good. Suppose that's why they call them that.
Yeah, let's go get messed up.
All right. What about Sandra and Enrico during this whole scenario?
Just kind of following behind.
Still scrying.
Just looking, like, doesn't even look up. Just like,
Yeah.
Enrico starts off going in the right direction, but as soon as he sees a pretty lady he can hit on, he is immediately distracted by that. So he keeps going up to women and being like, You are as beautiful as the rose in the desert. And then he takes out a flower, and it just does this multiple times until someone doesn't reject him.
Okay, make me a persuasion check.
All right.
Just creeping around town and on
Hey,
everything.
definitely 18-year-old busy girl with us. You want to get messed up?
Yeah, like whatever. Sure.
I got a
do it all the time
23.
anyway. So
Okay, so you guys.
OMB, oh my Bahamut.
I mean, we're all on the clock, so.
Yeah, so you guys all go behind into the back tent, and I will describe your options and what kind of things we can have going on there in a second. 23, you said on your persuasion check. Yeah, eventually you find, after roughly, let's see. Oh no, that's way too high. After 13 failed attempts, you finally find someone who doesn't reject you. Lo and
Okay.
behold, it's an older woman.
Yeah, I was gonna say the older the better. That's what Rico's looking for.
She is around, she's probably like early 60s, you'd guess. But even still, like, she's aged very well. Like, she's probably a great grandma, but you might not know that if you didn't look too closely.
Does she look like she has money?
Make an insight check.
Oh yes. I'm not good at these at all. Oh, I rolled really well though. I got a 20.
Yeah, you get the feeling, like, I mean, you know, you don't see any rings on her fingers, so her potentially deceased husband, you know, or maybe she had some money or has some. She's not like an heiress, but she's doing pretty well for herself from the outfits and the types of, you know, she's got silks on and that kind of stuff. So
Yeah, Enrico is like, beautiful madam, I am but a humble espresso maker, completely and utterly at your service. And he like kneels to her. And he has completely forgotten about what he's supposed to be doing.
all right. So, and she's just like, oh, well, hello. I do fancy a fine coffee.
Perhaps we could go back to my coffee shop, the Homebrew.
Fluid. Fluid.
And she's like as you're saying this, and then you say to my coffee shop, and like there's like a little bit of a retraction. Like she was on board so far, and then you're like coffee shop, and she's like, is that what you call your home?
He's just like, oh, yes.
Make a deception check.
Sure, he's not good at that. Let's see here. Oh, actually, no, he still has high charisma. Yeah, got a 9.
She rolled a 2, so she's just like, well, I've never heard a house called a coffee shop, but why not? I've never been there before. Jokes. So she was like, so lead on. And she was out shopping about the market. She wasn't like at a stall, like working or anything.
He's gonna offer his arm.
And she'll take it.
Where should he actually lead her? Should he actually lead her to the coffee shop? But because if he leads her to his house, then this character is basically out of the game. I might be cool with that. So I think I have effectively also killed my character by basically just leaving his shift and going home with this older woman.
You don't die when you have sex, dude.
She might.
How would he know?
He might.
I
mean, wild magic surges happen.
Yeah, exactly.
Is she the same kind of woman that was in the coffee shop earlier?
Yeah, right. Make sure you keep her caffeinated. So yeah. Well, I mean, Enrico will be back at 10 a.m. tomorrow morning, so.
Or
Same.
will he?
Or will he? I guess we'll find out.
No, I have a second character for that
Oh,
that I
okay.
can bring in right now if you want. Now that Enrico is gone.
Well, let's deal with everybody else getting
Yeah.
messed up first, while Enrico heads off with his elderly woman to his house, not the coffee shop. This house that he calls the coffee shop. All right, so Galdar, Dr. Thaddeus, and Sandra, you find yourselves in the back room of this tent. And Dr. Thaddeus, you know your potential quack associate here. His name is... Does he have a name that you know, or should I just make one up?
Yeah, it's Professor Cornelius Johnson.
Professor Cornelius Johnson
Oh boy.
is there, and he...
That's what I should have named you, Larry.
And Larry's just like...
Xylophone noises.
Yeah.
If he could say anything, he'd say "kill me."
You'll never know. Didn't cast detect thoughts on Larry. So Professor Cornelius is like, "Welcome. What can I?" And he says, and he like looks as like you guys come in the back, and then Dr. Thaddeus comes and he says, "Oh, well."
Cornelius.
And he's like, "Thaddeus, what are you doing here? And you bring such interesting companions," as he gestures to the 18-year-old girl scrying to her boyfriend and the Minotaur.
And Larry.
And Larry and the Modron.
And the Modron. This is Larry's Modron. Some chick at the coffee shop, and we just need some strong shit.
And he's
Nice.
like, "Oh, and your doctor friend couldn't provide it for you. I see how it is, that's fine."
You know very well, Cornelius, that my stall burned down in a tragic accident that had nothing to do with any mishaps in any of my potions.
And he's like,
Yeah, we've killed like 5 women today. So if we could get some drugs, that would be good.
and like, he looks at you, and then like very quickly he realizes that you're not lying, and he's just like, and he goes behind the counter, and you see him like sifting through vials and little kind of flasks and things, and he basically pulls out a small little wooden box, and he sets it on the counter, and he unlatches it and opens it, and then in there are 3 like small, or 4, I guess there's 4. There's 4 pills basically in there, and he's like, "Well, you said you need something strong, and you're a murderer of women. That's terrifying. But that means you clearly are brave if you boast about it so openly. This, I think, is what you're looking for."
What is it?
And he says, "Well, it works." He says it's a little bit of a hallucinogen, as well as there's potential side effects of forgetfulness, but that's fine. And you probably won't be able to feel your own face.
Sounds good. Right, right, Jenny. Sorry. I like wave my Minotaur. Okay. You want one of these?
Not even looking up, like just like
You want
Reaches out her
in on
hand.
this? Reaches out her hand.
not even looking up.
All right. I reach out my hand too.
All right. And he says, "Thaddeus."
I take one.
All right.
I distribute it to the rest, and I say, "All right, good work. Let's go get that coffee grinder."
All right. So you guys all have your pills. Do you take them here, or do you wait, or what's the plan?
I have immediately taken mine.
All right.
I need to test it first.
I say, hold on 1 second. And then I look and see that he's already taken his.
Yeah. Yep.
I say, hold on one second. And I kind of close my eyes and focus, and I burn a level 3 spell to use clairvoyance to see back into the coffee shop to see what Ned is doing.
Oh. Ned is on the ground on his knees crying. And you watch as he's crying, he drops into the fetal position. And he's grasping the broom that he was sweeping the floor with as though like that is his lifeline to what is normal and what is real. And he's just crying on the floor with this. And you see the door open and like a customer come in and see this grown man crying, and they just shut the door and walk out.
Okay, I snap back too, and I look at the pill, and I put it in my pocket.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
And I turn to Nancy or Jessica. You should,
Why do you always get my name wrong?
you should try that.
I've already popped it in my mouth.
Oh, really?
So
I popped it in my mouth and immediately started walking out and like towards
right.
where we're supposed to go to the coffee grinder because I
let's
imagine
go.
I'm gonna forget soon.
Let's go, guys. Let's go.
So you guys walk out, and basically, you guys exit out of the booth, exit out past the apothecary, the main marketplace, and start heading down the thoroughfare that will lead you to where you're going. So, and you got, like, as you're walking, Galdor, you're kind of taking the lead and going with Larry and the Modron. And Sandra and Dr. Thaddeus, the road just starts to, like, boom. Like, it's like it gets way, way longer. And, like, it looks like it's an indeterminable length. And, like, the sky starts to turn, like, a magenta color. And, like, you look over and, like, Galdor's face is like... And Galdor, as you turn to look at them, you can like see the pupils just dilate completely as you're talking to them. And you guys are you can start to feel like the numbness in your face and your lips and your tongue, so talking is a little bit difficult.
What's happening?
The accent is almost better now. Yeah, and like you just like occasionally as you're walking down the street, you'll just hear like the occasional like wah! And there's like from one side or like a knock. There's no door nearby. You don't know where it's coming from. Speedy, I see what you're doing with that green screen. Awesome. So, and you guys are walking down the street, and you see that basically there is this large building, and it is it looks like basically a leg and a foot. Oh man, green screens are the best. So it looks like the leg of some like giant creature. Huge, ridiculously tall. Those of you who have lived in the city would know that this is the God Catcher. This was once one of the giant statue protectors of the city of Waterdeep, and this has basically kind of been hollowed out and turned into like a place where people live and that kind of a thing. But you guys see the full statue just like looking down at you as you look up. And it's like waving to you, even though it's just a leg.
I wave back.
And you, Galar, see them waving and talking to the sky as you continue down towards where the coffee grinder is located. So with, it probably takes you another like 15 minutes of just Galar wrangling these people as you guys just start like walking off into directions or just like staring at walls and things like that.
Oh, I'm not taking care of them.
Oh, you're not? Okay, so you just go get the coffee grinder.
I'm just going to the grind. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I'm
So-
letting them enjoy.
They just do whatever they're doing, and you go find the coffee grinder. And it's already been paid for. It's heavy, but that's no problem for you
Yeah.
because you're super strong, even as a wizard.
What do I got? I got an 18 strength.
Yeah, so you're fine. You go and get this coffee grinder, and you're able to hoist it over your shoulder.
Yeah.
And you, as you come back down that main thoroughfare, you see these two like just.
I cast dancing lights.
Oh man, the dancing! You see 4 globules of light appear in the air and begin moving about as Dr. Thaddeus is maybe juggling those light balls, even though that's not how they work. He's doing that, and Sandra's just kind of doing whatever. Still got the scry going on with her boyfriend. He doesn't know what's happening.
I don't care. I don't care.
Yeah, are you walking? Are you just gonna walk?
Asshole.
You just gonna walk past them, or?
I'm just walking and I look up. Oh, it's a Minotaur. Hey, Minotaur.
I cast prestidigitation to make Sandra start hearing whispers all around her. They're just creepy and uncomfortable.
And does Galdar just head back to the shop and leave them here, or what's his plan?
I have got the coffee grinder. I'm just going back. You guys can follow me back or hang out here.
I'll follow you.
All right.
All right, so Galdar, you begin to make your way down the street.
Your face is melting.
You make your way back, and Enrico, at this point, you have made your way to your home with your lovely older woman, and we'll fade to black on Enrico's story for the moment.
Yeah, we really don't need to roleplay that. That's fine.
Why?
It's for the children.
Wait, are you saying you're gonna have sex with her and not murder her?
What?
Are you not gonna murder her?
This is crazy town. What is going on here?
Listen,
Oh.
Enrico, I built him as a gold digger, and he succeeded. So now there's no reason for him to work at the coffee shop.
That's fair. He did hit on all the old ladies who were subsequently murdered.
I know if they didn't keep dying, he would have succeeded so much sooner.
So you guys make your way through the market square, and you guys make your way back down the street towards you see again. You see, like, as you're making there, you see people walking across, like having left the coffee shop and heading over into the tea shop across the street. And you guys enter in, and you hear, like, as the door is opening, you hear like scrambling, and like as you come in with the coffee grinder, you see Ned like wiping his face, standing up, like sweeping the broom on the floor.
Got your grinder.
And he's like, "Good, good. Just set it up over there." And he just like points to an area where you can see where it would make sense for the new grinder to be installed.
All right, I set it down.
And he's like-
Nedward, good to see you.
And he's just like, yes, it is good to see you as well, Doctor. I don't feel like you've ever really addressed me like this before.
I mean, I've always called you Nedward. I don't know what you're saying.
And he's just like,
And now that I'm your manager, I feel like it's my responsibility to address you by your full, proper legal name as it is on the paychecks, which I will certainly be signing from now on.
and he's just like, "It's still not the manager, but all right." And he says, "Good." And then he looks around. He's like, "Wait, where's Enrico?"
You did. He met an older lady. She had 2 heads.
And he-
2 heads.
And he's just like, I guess we have to hire someone else now. We have to get a better.
I mean, he can be back to work tomorrow.
I'm back. I'm I'm back behind not the bar, but the coffee bar.
Yeah.
I just kind of yell over. I just say, Ned, I got you, man. What kind of coffee do you like?
And he's just like, and he looks up and he's just like, black.
I got you. And I start making him a black coffee.
Okay, you do. And it seemed like it's such a simple gesture.
Oh, I haven't given it to him yet.
No, I know you haven't. But I'm well aware. But he seems as though, like, this simple nicety towards him as, like, it's gone a long way, as you said.
Yeah,
like,
I'm sorry for probing you earlier, man. Let me get you this coffee.
And he's like,
Probe it.
At this point, as you guys are sitting there, you watch an older gentleman walks in. And he's just like, and he like sees this whole scenario and he's just like, and Ned's like waiting for the coffee now.
Okay. I brew the coffee and I turn around like I'm looking for like a spoon or utensil or something. I take out the pill. I crack the pill open and I spill the contents of the pill into the black coffee.
Okay.
And then yeah. Give it a quick little mix and then hand it over to him. Nice and steamy hot.
And he's just like, thank you. This is something so simple. Just it goes so long, such a long way to help remind me that this is not a failed business venture. And he drinks the coffee, and like he's sipping it, right? It's not like a long. It's piping hot, so he sips it a little bit, and he's
enjoy that.
And he's like, "Thank you," and like it does seem to center him, at least momentarily. Anyway,
it should.
And he is like, "Well, this is, thank you." And now that the old man is just like, and he like sees around, and he's like, "Can I get a water and a beer?" And he looks to Sandra, who's
just scrying, not paying attention to him.
And then he like,
Sandra, here, give him this and a beer, and I give her one of my wild magic potions.
Oh God damn it! All right,
I'm
thirsty. What kind of ale do you want? Like,
and he's just like, just a beer, just whatever. What do you have on tap?
I don't know. I really don't know. It's my first day. I really don't care.
And he like looks to Ned, who he like knows from having been here for a little bit. And Ned takes another sip of the coffee, and he's just like, Sandra, and he'll like lead you over, and he'll like show you the 4 taps. And he's like, these like, so one of them is an apple cider. One of the taps has not, like, there's nothing tapped to it yet. And then there's just like, oh geez, what the hell is the Waterdeep beer? I forget. Whatever, we'll call it like Waterdeep Lager, and then we'll call it Waterdeep Light, because I don't remember what the beers are in Faerun.
I just pour a lager.
Okay.
And I don't even tilt it. I just put it underneath.
It's all foam.
It's just all foam. And then once it gets up to the top, I'll just close it and then put it over and put the magic potion or the wild magic potion water in front of him.
All right.
5 gold, okay?
And he's just like, what? And he like looks to Ned, and Ned's just like, and Ned, like, they do the transaction. He goes and sits in the corner, and he drinks a little bit of the water, and he's gonna make a wild magic search. Okay.
Okay, here we go.
Here we go.
Come the filled electric fingers.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
As he's walking back over, as he's drinking it, ting! Fireball goes off. I need everybody to make dexterity saving throws. as a fireball explodes.
Oh my god, of course. It had to happen eventually.
And poor Clarence, who had so much planned for him for the next session with the next party, none of that will happen because
That's a natural one for Thaddeus.
Dex save?
yes.
15.
Okay. The DC is, I'm gonna say 15. So, what'd you get, Kugo?
I guess
17.
my
17.
fry pan falls and I just go behind the bar to pick it up.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 D6. Here we go.
Thaddeus is just like too enraptured with like the like starting embers of this giant fireball that he can't look away or move. He doesn't notice it coming towards him.
Are they still tripping?
Yeah. It's only been a few minutes. 27. 36 points of fire damage. DC is 15. So what did Sandra? Sandra got what?
Sandra got 15.
So Sandra's only going to take 18 points of fire damage.
Okay.
Thaddeus got got a what?
I got a nat one.
Oh, so 36 points of fire damage.
Thaddeus is down.
Thaddeus goes unconscious. Galdar, you've passed, so you take 18 points of fire damage.
Mm-hmm.
Clarence is obliterated.
This instant the sip.
I like to think he's like, and looks at it.
Yeah, let's go with that because that's more funny. All right.
Can I just really quick introduce and then unintroduce my
I was Clarence, everyone.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I made a character for tomorrow that I was going to introduce for the end of this, but I feel it'd be funnier if the door just opens and you see this like 16-year-old like very like pimply kid, like really scrawny and stuff, and he looks in and he's dressed like kind of in wizard's robes and he has the spell book. He's like, oh hey, I think I'm supposed to start my shift today. Oh no, I'll come back later. That you looks like a bad time. Slowly backs out of the door.
So, okay, so he backs out. Bosco fails his saving throw.
No, Bosco.
Bosco is dead. And you watch as Bosco's body hits the ground. Bosco transforms back into that form of a large brown bear.
Bosco was a bear.
And then Ned has to roll.
Yeah.
Ned passes, and he is barely alive. And we can increase the NPC kill count to 7 now.
I think we've met one NPC that didn't die.
There's the other bartender.
Yeah, Abraham is still here. He's
Oh,
still
yeah.
hanging out. Yep. Okay. Wow. So this happens, and you all see this, and Ned is just like, he's looking at his coffee, and he's just like, he goes back into the back room and shuts the door.
Okay.
And Sandra, you are scorched.
Peeking over the bar.
You peek over, you see Dr. Thaddeus on the ground, unconscious and burning. And Galdar, you also took a hit, but you're still alive as well.
Mm-hmm. I'm kind of patting off. Some of my hair is on fire. I'm kind of patting it off.
Dr. Thaddeus, I'd like you to make me a death saving throw. DC 15 now.
7.
Oh, well, that's one fail.
What the hell happened? Gross.
Do you guys do anything? Dr.
I
Thaddeus?
I turned to Larry. What does Larry look like?
Most of the string is gone, so like his one arm is on the floor.
Okay.
And like so some of the glue has held, so he's kind of got like one kind of swinging arm.
Mm-hmm.
But he's still mostly together.
Mm-hmm.
And the Modron is still there. I think Modrons are immune to fire. I might have made that up. But
Wow.
we're gonna say that he is for right now. This
Yeah.
particular one is.
Is there a is there a flame on the doctor?
A little bit, yeah. But yeah, if you can see that there's a little flame on him.
I cast prestidigitation to snuff out the flame.
You snuff out the flame, Dr. Thaddeus. I'll still need you to make a death. I'll still need you to make a death saving throw.
15.
All right, that's 1 pass, 1 fail.
Oh, it smells in here now. Ugh.
It's not good, is it? Well, at least I don't have any more customers.
As Thaddeus is burning, you can smell like just like a bunch of like probably drugs and like spices that he had in his coat that are just like on fire. Like there's thick aromatic smoke coming off of his body even after the fire is out.
Can we can we do something with him?
Okay. I go over and I kind of drag Thaddeus's body around. Is there like a closet, like a utility closet or a supply closet? Or
Yeah,
something?
there's like a cleaning, like a broom closet.
All right, I pull him in there and I shut the door.
All right, Dr. Thaddeus, can I get another death saving throw, please?
4.
That's 2 fails. Might as well just make the next one.
That's a 5.
So Dr. Thaddeus expires in the broom closet.
Yeah. I will say that as you were dragging him away, 5 bottles rolled off of his body and are still remaining on the floor of the coffee shop. That are these wild magic potions. Some of them, I'd say 2 of them are just labeled peppermint spice.
Did I notice the bottles?
Yes, you do.
All right. I gather up the bottles. I open the door back up and I kind of toss the bottles on top of his body and I close the door.
All right, they don't break. They just hit his body. So he's he's dead in the closet amidst the brooms with 5 potion bottles like on his chest.
That would be good for. I'll let next shift worry about that.
So I feel like that's a good spot to end this session. 1 person's dead. 2 Gladriel died.
I wanted to make him feel better.
Do you want to go do that? Because you can. Tell me how you're gonna do that.
I want to go make. I need to talk to Ned. He slammed his door, right? He's not feeling too good.
No.
I want to make sure he's doing okay.
Okay.
Now I'm starting to feel bad that I slipped him drugs, and I want to make sure not like he's not dead in his office, basically.
Okay. So you go into his office, and
Right.
he's sitting in his chair, and he's like drinking his coffee.
Wow.
Is here.
And he's like, "Hello,
Wow. Feeling better?
feeling something."
Wow. Great. Listen.
Can you feel all of the hairs on your body? Like each
Yes,
one?
Most of them, yes. Would you like to feel some of my hairs? I kind of walk over to him and lean my shoulder.
And like
And-
he like puts his hand out and he like moves his fingers through the hair and he's just like, wow.
Yeah, it's not the same, is it?
No.
That's incredible. You know what else is not the same? Is what I'm gonna get paid this week.
And he's like, go on.
So more.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay. So like double more.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Okay, cool. Could
Who are
just
you
write-
again? Let me write it down.
In fact, could you just write the check now? That would be groovy.
And he's just like, yeah, groovy. And he starts and he like sits and he's like writing on the desk. There's no paper there. He's just like writing on the
Is
desk.
that fucked up?
He was pretty fucked up in the head beforehand. He was mentally probed. He was beaten down. Like, it didn't take a whole lot to get him. You know, like certain people are susceptible to hypnotism and other things more than other people. These
Right.
drugs just hit him hard. And you looked at the coffee cup is like half gone at this point.
Right. Okay.
So he's
Yeah.
like writing, and you just slip the paycheck underneath, and he just keeps writing and like finishes the paycheck out.
Okay.
And then like you take the paycheck away, and he keeps writing on the table.
Okay.
And he's like,
I-
"Oh, okay."
I look at the paycheck. Does it look like
It actually surprisingly perfectly legible.
Oh, I put the paycheck away and I put my hand on him and I say, "Thank you, Ned."
You're welcome.
I cast Burning Hands.
Jesus! Wow! Oh my god!
Gotta get that NPC kill count up.
Oh wow! All right, go ahead and roll your damage.
Ned doesn't deserve this.
What did he ever do to anyone?
I mean, like, those old ladies were mean, but Ned did nothing wrong.
What, you don't want him to make a save? You just want him to...
No, I made my save, but I know your save is 15, so.
Okay. Uh, 13 fire damage.
All right. Ned, let's see here. Ned has taken some damage. Ned is still alive.
Oh, wow.
He's scorched, and he's just like, "Ah, man."
So, like, he looks really bad, but he's still on drugs.
Yeah.
I just nod, and I just turn and leave him.
All right. Well, now.
And I leave the coffee shop with my check.
All right. Dr. Thaddeus, Sandra, do you have any last quips you want to say before we bring this session to a close?
I need to go get some more paper from the scribe.
Okay.
So Sandra bolts it out of there too and leaves the door open.
All right, great. I can't wait for next shift. All right, so thank you guys so much. What? What even was that? I don't know.
What is? I just want to. I'm gonna stick around. I need to see what the next shift just walks in on and like what they do.
Yeah, it's this, folks. This is a persistent story. So everything that happened in this session impacts the next session. So Ned being scorched, on fire, on drugs, a dead Dr. Thaddeus in the closet, the security dead, nobody working, destroyed chairs. This is why about halfway through I stopped, like, see, I have my events and stuff planned. I stopped planning because I was like, shit's going to happen that's going to impact the rest of the game. So I'll just let that flow the rest of the day.
Yeah.
So, Kugo, why don't you tell people about who you are and where people can find you on the internet for those who don't know?
Yo, Kugo the Mighty on everything. I do YouTubes and other streaming and stuff. But who cares about me? Donate money to these children and continue to watch this live stream and don't miss anything. Just watch all 24 hours and every hour donate $25. Shout out money.
That's a lot of money.
That indeed would be a lot of money, and we would be overly joyed if you donated that. Thank you so much for coming out to play here as well. I appreciate it.
Pleasure.
All right, Speedy, what about you?
This was fun. I hope someone opens that broom closet at some point, or that supply closet at some point, and just not expecting it at all, walks in on a dead sorcerer and a bunch of wild magic potions, and decides to drink one. I'm Speedy. You can find me online at Not So Speedruns everywhere. I do streaming on Twitch, and I also help run a community called Cast Together, which is of streamers supporting mental health causes. We do a bunch of charity streams, and we have like a Discord community that's supportive and welcoming and all that good stuff. And yeah, like Kugo said, donate to the kids. Give those kids the money that they need to go buy themselves coffee, but probably not at this coffee shop because they might die.
It's fair. That is fair. Lex, what about you?
Hey, I'm Lex. You can find me on Twitter at Dank Dungeons TV. I do stuff on YouTube. I am in a bunch of stream games. like everybody else has been saying, donate all that money. So especially donate it to Ted so he can have more horrible things and monsters to give the players the best. And I will actually be back. So I was on first shift, and I'm coming back to play last shift tomorrow at 7 a.m. Eastern time, where I will be playing the nerd teenager wizard character that I just introduced a second ago, who got scared off by the wanted carnage he was witnessed in the shop.
All right. And Gozira, what about you?
Hello, everyone. I'm Gozira. You can find me on Twitter and YouTube at Gozira with 3 R's. I make dumb videos for YouTube and play D&D on Twitch. And make sure to donate what you can because it's a really good cause. And make sure to give Ted coffee and also CR level 5 monsters that the characters will blow themselves up to kill. So
I mean, that happened. That was thank you. Oh, by the way, for everyone who doesn't know, thank you to Gozira for donating to add that monster, because that was his donation that added the Gargoctopus into the game. That almost
You paid to kill yourself?
yeah.
he paid to add a monster. It just so happened that it killed him. So yeah, I'm not going to introduce myself because I'm going to be here for 24 hours. I'm going to get tired of hearing myself talk about that. But I did want to say that, Speedy, you're going to be at PAX Unplugged, right?
I will.
And I will be there as well, so say hi if you see either of us while you're there. None of you guys are going to Unplugged, right?
Where is it?
Philadelphia.
Oh,
No. The 30th of this month?
No. Come out to West, though.
Maybe. I'll see. I'm thinking about it.
That's far.
You know what? If Penny Arcade will pay for my ticket, which they have been for a lot of these, I'll come out there. Or if you come,
just the con ticket?
Yeah, they usually pay for that.
Yeah, I'll get you a con ticket.
No, I can cover that too, but the hotel's the hard part and this flight. But
Yeah. Come stay at my place, dude.
we'll see. Yeah, I mean, if you come to East again, tell me, because then I'll run into you because I'm going to be there too. So.
Oh, cool.
Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. We'll let you guys break down and head out so we can get the other group here. I'm actually going to go take one of the 4 cups of coffee that I was donated and go have that. You guys are more than welcome to hang around in the chat if you want. This is going to be happening. As you can see, what all the crazy shit you guys did impacts everybody later on. Because when the new shift rolls in, there's nothing. The shop is a mess. There's nobody. There's like nobody working. It's going to be interesting.
Ned is barely alive.
He was barely alive mentally. Now he's barely alive physically.
I think we should have a competition to see which group can kill the most NPCs in their session.
It might. I mean, you guys are riding pretty high right now.
Yeah.
I mean, you did target a bunch of old ladies, so.
How many people can you kill in Waterdeep before like you just get like arrested and like killed? Before like a bunch of adventurers get hired to just murder you all?
Again, something I have planned as this continues. One, did not expect this for this early. But now I can have, now like you get like 18 hours in, it's going to be like Homebrew coffee shop barricaded by palisade walls as the adventurers break down the door to take out the monstrosities that work inside. Wanted killers of innocent people of Waterdeep. What will happen next? Tune in at 7, 8. Like, who knows? We'll see what happens. All right. Well, thank you guys so much. So I will have you guys drop out of the Zoom chat, and then I'll have everybody else jump in, and we will be ready to go. So.
Cool. Nice to meet you all. GG. And good luck with the rest of the game. I'll be watching.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.